So, you don't deny any of it? Asked the king as he stood in front of Mayor Fitch's desk. The hidden second half of the poem? The underground war room and the plan to enslave the trolls and steal all of their magic? Rapunzel, Ella, Wolfie, Hansel, and Gretel were standing next to Rapunzel's dad. Everyone looked surprised. Not at all, said Fitch cheerfully. I guess that's it. You win. I do? Asked the king, looking confused. It certainly looks like it. Yes, I guess it does, says the king, puffing up his chest. Now be a good fellow and get the second half of the poem. I need to show the townfolk immediately. I'll be as lenient as I can, but it'll probably be the old banishing to far, far away, I should imagine. No hard feelings? None at all, replied Fitch, as he opened the secret cupboard and took out the stone into which the second half of the poem was carved. I'd have done exactly the same things if it had been the other way around. Right, exclaimed the king, taking the stone. He couldn't quite believe it had all gone so well. Well, I'll be off then. Come along, children. Rapunzel looked around as Mayor Fitch waved the king past, indicating that his guards should let him all go. Something feels weird about this, she muttered. Nonsense, snorted the king. Fitch just knew better than to tangle with me. Now come on, I've got a town to save. The king strode to the door, opened it, and walked out before it suddenly slammed shut, trapping the children inside Fitch's office. He spun around, but his path was blocked by two of Fitch's guards, who had been waiting just outside the door. What's going on? Protested the king. Sir, we have reason to believe that you are in possession of stolen property, said one of the guards loudly, as they grabbed the king by his elbows and dragged him out of the town hall. What? No, listen, I can explain, spluttered the king. He was making quite a commotion, and a crowd was starting to gather in the town square. It wasn't every day you saw the king being held back by an armed guard. Oh, you can explain why you've been lying to us all these years? Asked Mayor Fitch as he strode calmly out of the town hall behind the king. What? Replied the king, confused. No, I was just. Mark my words, called out Mayor Fitch to the crowd in his clearest speech-making voice. The king has been lying to all of us. There was a gasp from the steadily growing crowd as Fitch held up the original Story Tree poem. We all know what this is, he called. But do you know what he holds? There is more of the poem, a second half that we never even knew about. The king was indeed clutching the second half of the poem close to his chest. Things weren't looking good. The royal family has been keeping us in the dark all these years, Fitch continued. There is a secret on that stone, a secret the king wants to keep from us. Boo! Shouted a voice from the crowd. Why? Yelled another. I don't know, replied Fitch. Should we find out? Yes, roared the crowd. Fitch strode over to grab the stone. The king struggled to keep a hold of it, but Fitch wrenched it out of his hands, making sure that the stone fell as he did so. It tumbled down to the paving slabs beneath their feet and shattered into tiny pieces. What have you done? Exclaimed Fitch, sounding shocked. What do you mean? Replied the king. I didn't do anything. It was you who. Friends, shouted Fitch. For years, the king and his family have lived in a life of leisure, while you and I, the hard-working people of this town, sweat to put food on our plates. Of course, this wasn't strictly true, but the mayor has always been paid very well. But the crowds weren't concerned about a detail like that right now. And now we found out he's been lying to us, continued Fitch. What else has he lied about? Where does this web of deceit end? And what should we do with him? The crowd roared angrily. The king protested, and Fitch stood there pretending to look as though he didn't know what to do next. My friends, called Fitch finally, lowering his hands to calm the crowd, we have but one choice. The king, his family, and his supporters must be exiled, sent to far, far away. Only then will we be safe from this treachery. The crowd roared its approval, and Fitch nodded. Very well, he said. We will prepare the boat. They sail at dawn. He gestured to the guards holding the baffled king. Secure the king, but make him comfortable. After all, he is royalty. Fitch waved one last time to the crowd, turned smartly on his heel, and marched back into the town hall. Knock, knock, he said as he opened his office door. Inside were Rapunzel, Wolfie, Hansel, and Gretel, who were tied up. Even though they hadn't been able to see what had happened to the king outside, they'd heard everything. Through the open window, Rapunzel's eyes were wide with panic. "Don't worry," Major Fitch said to Rapunzel in a low voice. "You'll see him soon enough. You all will. After all, you're traitors too, and you'll be sailing off on that boat at dawn." He laughed and then added, "I don't think that your friends can help. My men have been following them since they left Tailtown with the troll child. Everything has worked out even better than I could have planned. They've led me right to where the troll warlock Hurlan is hiding. I guess I should thank you." He smiled. "I really couldn't have done any of this without you."